Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The number you have dialed.
Good day. This is
Yeah, what I
TJ
say?
yourself, aka the real TJ Crawford, online today, celebrating 50 years of hip hop, promoting the experience that's going to take place at the African Festival of the Arts September 2nd, out in Washington Park here in Chicago, Illinois. I'm joined by my good friend DJ Phonz. Say what's up to the people, DJ Phonz.
Peace, peace. What's happening? What's happening, everybody? Shout out to TJ and BuckShot.
Yeah, so Phonz is a producer, a DJ, just somebody who a keeper of the culture. Also, brother to Bugs the Beast, hip hop producer, award winning, and just wanted to bring him in as we talk to the legend. I was telling them before I pressed the button that I used to do promo work in the ATL, and I was doing it for Priority, and I was running around giving people tapes and CDs and putting up flyers for Boot Camp Click. Riding around a 285, listening to I Got You Open remix, right? So we are talking about none other than BuckShot. Used to be BuckShot Shorty, but the BDI MC BuckShot. Thank you.
BuckShot Shorty, BuckShot, the BDI MC, all manifestations of the love, bro. This was the deal, man. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate you. So it's a lot of energy around 50 years of hip hop, the birth anniversary of hip hop. How are you feeling? How have you been celebrating? And as you reflect on, hip hop, the culture and its influence, what are some things that come to mind? What are you grateful for?
Yeah, 50 years of hip hop. It's beautiful. It's the one thing that I'm happy about, I'm grateful for, and appreciate, and also acknowledge heavily is that it wasn't just a spark in a moment. You know what I mean? Like how a lot of people actually probably thought it was, and some people thought it was like a spark, maybe like a month thing, and it was over, and that was pretty much it. And that to me is like huge because it showed the impact hip hop had politically. It showed the hip hop that we had, media wise, sports wise, and just the power itself of the creation of hip hop and the birth of it. To say, here's something that started in '73 and spread across the world, dominated the world, and is still one of the biggest and only cultures that outlast every other genre of music, including jazz and disco.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a really, really big statement, and I think that the statement is necessary because what it does is it shows that hip hop stabilizes itself as a voice of the youth to reflect what's going on inside of them, be it positive or negative, and that's where we start at.
Right. How did you come out the gate with this idea that we're gonna be an institution? I'm not just an individual, but we're gonna form an institution.
When Duck Down first started, there was no Duck. We didn't have Duck Down Records. We had Duck Down Enterprises. Duck Down Enterprises. That is still around right now. If you look at some of the old stuff, and we considered ourselves an enterprise because we were so. It was so much talent in so many different areas that it was hard to encompass that. You know what I mean? I mean, we had people that were good in music. We had people that were good at law, different things in the boot camp clique. And since the creation of the BCC via my boy Smith Steele from Smith and Wesson, there was always that need to know once I get in the limelight, I'm going to try to put my brothers on, my soldiers on, or really just my brothers, and we all going to move in one unison, and we're going to move the way we moved. There was no other really entities in hip hop that were focused on that. You know what I mean? It was traditionally you get a record deal, you sign to a contract, you dress with the rap apparel. You know, you follow the rules. You know, you get the women in your video. You get the fancy car behind you with the headlights up. You know, the whole thing. And we just decided to do something that was normal, that was real different, I think, but normal to us, which was keep it real. Keeping it real means this is what you see, this is what you get. You might see me tomorrow with a blue BMW with all blue lights. You might see me the next day after that on a moped bike. That don't matter to me, bro.
You comfortable in your skin.
I'm living my life. Exactly. And so that's why I said 1998, I couldn't wait to get all my brothers and do shows from state to state. You know what I'm saying? It was like, I knew, I saw the vision of like, yo, I couldn't wait to get all my dudes and do that.
My question was, you know what I'm saying, like the idea and like how did that actually get started, come to play, like you and whoever else, you know, how did that come about, like to get that going forward? Because obviously, like you said, you had a plan already for the whole team, but it was important to have, you know, control of your own music.
We were signed to Nervous Records we were signed to Nervous Records when I first came out. We weren't signed to Duck Down. There was no Duck Down when I first came out with that album. But as far as management, when we first started the album, right? So let's just put it that way. We were managed by a guy named Chuck Chillout, and it was cool with me, you know, to this day. Chuck Chillout, DJ Chuck Chillout, his historic DJ, you know, and he signed us to Nervous Records, which was a small label that he had, that was a subsidiary of a house record label. So the big album that y'all see and the big album that everybody hears came out on a subsidiary of a house record label. It gives a testament that goes to show you, look, if you're good, you're good. If you got it, you got it. Don't matter what. We did enter the stage, and I guess for me, the bigger picture was, you know, we wanted things to be just the way we saw them, you know? And when we got with Nervous, it was kind of nervous. But then one day I went in to get my royalty check. Mm-hmm. And when I went to go get my royalty check, I found out that they told me that I owed them and not that I was going to get a check. Now, it baffled me because I knew we had sold a lot of records. I didn't take money in the beginning. So how is it that, you know, we owe y'all? Yeah. And they explained to me how, you know, we were unrecouped and everything like that. And, you know, it was due to the contract we signed, and it was a bad contract, but he took a risk and it ain't his fault and blah, blah, blah. And in a nutshell, you know, it was a good robbery job. And because of that, I walked out of the office and I stormed out of there. And I just, this I'll never forget, because I turned around and looked at his office door. So this is like, you know, one of those PTSD types with. And I turned around and I looked at his room in his office and I cursed him out, you know, and I said, let me tell you something, motherfucker. I'm going to create my own thing, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to destroy all of this. I said, this is all gone. It's all out of here. I said, when I come back, all this is out of here, period. I'm going to come back and destroy your whole record label just for what you just did to me.
That's commercial rap gets the gun clap day after day, right?
You know, so I walked into the next, and at that point, I had fired Chuck Chillout, who was doing us dirty too at the end of the day. But whatever. I walked into the office, the next one, and I said, which one of you guys is responsible for the Black Moon? And they pointed to a little intern, but that intern was Drew Hop. And I asked him, I said, yo, would you like to be a part of Duck Down no, actually, I said, would you like to be a part of having your own management? And he said, sure. And I said, well, meet me at my crib on Monday. So he met me at my crib, and we had a little thing where we drove up to his crib, and he taught me how to drive. I taught him how to rhyme, whatever, that day. And then we drove back to the house, to my house. And as we parked the car, I said, why don't we start our own management company? And he said, yeah. And he said, well, what would you want it to be called? And I said, I don't know, Drew. I said, but I know one thing. When we come through, I want everybody to duck down.
And that's how the name came out, huh?
And he said, well, that's the name of the label.
That's dope.
And I looked at him, and he looked at me, and that's how the name Duck Down was born.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The number you have dialed has been...
You hear what I say?
The new number is...
Are you listening?
Please note, the new number
Okay.
is...
I think I'm Martin Luther. I think I'm Malcolm X. I think I'm Mansa Musa. That means I am the best. I'm James Baldwin. WB the boys. I'm Stokely Carmichael. That means I am that boy. I think I'm Martin Luther. I think I'm Malcolm X.